Good morning, everyone. This is Anna and Jim in our show Live with Jim and Anna. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Anna. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How about you? Where are you at, Jim? That's the question of the day.
That's a good question, Anna. I'm glad you asked. We're in our new offices in Odenton, Maryland. So we started the company in my home office in Odenton, and we've gotten so big, we have to have a full-time office in Odenton, the same town, and I'm speaking from our office. Also, Anna, we have a new system-wide phone number. What's that number?
Oh, Jim, that's a test question. I think I'm gonna fail. Well, okay, I have a way out. Here's what I do. We also have a new website, so I suggest you guys check out our new website. And under Contact Us, you'll see our new phone number, but it's 188 something something. So
Okay.
I haven't memorized it yet.
If you're take your pen and write this down, Anna, and listeners and viewers, so we don't forget. It's 888-897-6743. And then if you don't remember that Anna is extension 1 and Jim is extension 2, then you can listen to the directory, or you can press 0 and talk to who?
Administrator. Is that right?
Yes.
That's right.
Does the administrator have a name?
Her name is Cassie,
All right.
and she'll be able to help you. But yes, please check out our new website. We just quietly launched it last month. Lots of improvements, and we'd like to hear your feedback. So those are the news. So we got a new office. Hey, Jim, when did you start the company? How long ago?
September of 2002.
Wow, that's how long. So this is April 2016, 14
Yeah,
years.
when I started, I didn't have any gray hair.
Yeah.
And I had more hair up here.
So is that all? Okay. Okay. Well,
Yes,
that's what happens, I guess.
it does.
I know.
Okay,
That's such is life. Okay. Well, let's get to
let's get
some.
to the questions, okay?
Let's get to questions. Yes. Okay. You want to go first? I can ask you a question.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay. Here's a question from our reader or listener. My car was hit by someone else in a parking lot.
Oh,
I
no.
have I have a $500 deductible. Should I file a claim? I am not sure what the damage is right now. So sounds to me like a small fender bender.
Well, that's what usually happens in parking lots. I hope our client who wrote us in got the insurance information, along with the driver information from the perpetrator of this accident. And when you call your own insurance company, you give them that information, and their job is to contact the other insurance company and help you settle the claim. Most times, your insurance company will tell you where to go to get it fixed. And because you've reported the perpetrator and that perpetrator's acknowledged it was their fault, and you've got their insurance company, usually you don't have to pay your deductible, which is a nice thing. So I'm hoping our client doesn't have to pay the deductible. The other insurance company will pay for all the repairs, including the deductible. There you go.
Jim, I think I've heard that sometimes you may have to deal with your own company and you do pay the deductible, but then you get reimbursed once the other party comes through. Is that true?
That could be correct, depending upon how long it takes to settle between insurance companies. I know in one time where it happened to us, it was the same insurance company, so we didn't have to pay anything on the deductible. And in this, the writer didn't tell us the name of the other insurance company, so we don't know that answer.
Well, something like this happened to us too. This was maybe a year and a half ago here in our little town of Burlingame. Somebody was pulling out of their parking space and ran into Yuri's car, and it was raining. And so we were down, it was downtown area, we were just getting a cup of coffee, and we come out. And because it was raining, didn't notice right away, but we noticed a little note under the windshield wiper. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do we get a ticket? You open it up and it's not a ticket. It's a note from somebody says, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I was pulling out and I accidentally hit your car. Here's my phone number. Please call me. I would like to make you whole. I was like, oh my gosh, most people will just drive off. So Yuri ended up calling. It was not a bit, it was just a scratch on the back side of the car. But it still probably, I think, costs about $1,200 to replace. So we got $1,200 from it was a lady, older lady from her insurance company. But she was so sweet about it. She wanted to make it right. So, and I told Yuri.
I hope our viewers would do the same thing too.
Yes, and I told Yuri, so look, if you ever do something, don't just, even if it's just something minor, it's just the right thing to do. So yes, it cost $1,200 to the insurance company. Did her premium go up? Maybe not for such a small minor thing, right? We don't know.
Well, more and more these days, insurance companies are advertising the first accident, we won't hold it against you. So
sure.
I don't know if that's true, but they're advertising that. So speaking of being cheap, Anna, what is one way today that being cheap in your spending can actually cost you money in the long run? Do you have some examples of that?
I do have an example, Jim, and a short answer to this is skimping on your exercise. And what I mean by that, it's not necessarily skipping your exercise, but it's not having a membership, for example. And this example that I want to give you because it's from my personal experience. So about 18 months ago, I finally broke down and I got a gym membership because I have not had gym membership for years. I would usually go out and run. I would go to yoga classes and I happily paid for that. But I just didn't like the idea of going to the gym. It's just not a place that I enjoyed. So not too far from our home opened a really nice fitness club. It's not even a gym membership. So Yuri finally convinced me that that's something for me to check out. And the reason for that was because they had group classes. And I thought, okay, I could go to the group class, get in, do my exercise, and get out. Okay, so the cost of this fitness club is $150 a month per person. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. That's $300 for two of us, right? So if you have a family of four, that's a, you just say like, you could say, okay, it's California, things cost more here. No, because there is a 24-hour fitness across the street for $30 a month. But the facility is not as nice. The actual classes aren't as nice. So I thought about it from a different perspective, not what it cost me on a monthly basis, but what it could actually, the benefits of it in the long run. So I thought, okay, if I go every day, that's $5 a month, a day, right? So that's really costing me $5. So the question is, and I think, Jim, this is one of your favorite things to rationalize with, is what's the cost per use, not the cost for itself, right? So $5 a day. Where do I spend $5 a day? And what can I buy for $5 a day that will give me the equivalent of the health benefits, right? Being healthy, having lots of energy, and that's all can add up in the long run. So I can buy a cup of coffee, right? I do that very frequently, and I actually spill coffee on my computer. So that's another story for another Google Hangout. So when I thought about it that way, and that added up in my mind, I said, okay, I've got to go every day, or at least 5 days a week, to make it worth my while. So at that point, looking at this and saying, okay, $150 a day, a month isn't really a big cost, considering what it's gonna, the benefits is gonna add to me in the long run. So I hope you can take advantage of this example and think of other types of expenses that you're avoiding and overlooking the benefits by actually just thinking about how many times you're going to use that particular whatever it is and what are the benefits in the long run.
That's a good example, Anna. Thank you.
Yes.
Do you have another question for me?
I have another question for you, Jim. So speaking of estate planning, that's one of our favorite subjects. So how often do I have to update my estate planning documents or have an attorney review it? Once I get it done, isn't that enough, Jim?
Well, Anna, it's one of those questions that you get to answer, it depends. There's probably two separate indicators. One is a major change in your life, which would be divorce, a death in the family, an addition to your family, a move to another state. Those would be events where it's important to go and have your estate planning documents reviewed. So that would be one thing. The other one is after a while, sometimes in states, they change the law. And when they change the law, that can affect what you have written in the past. And usually you have to do some amendments or codicils or actually a brand new will or a brand new trust because of the change in the state law. Recently, just a few years ago, they changed the federal estate tax law, and that necessitated a lot of the people being able to streamline their estate planning documents. So law changes both on the state and the federal level, and significant events are the two primary criterion why you'd go in and have your wills or trust reviewed.
And so what if none of those criteria had happened in your life? What if you did move, everything is the same, but your documents are 10 years old or they're 5 years old?
Well, we think 3 to 5 year time frame is worth a telephone call to the attorney's office to say, has anything changed here in, for example, Maryland or California, wherever you reside, that would necessitate changing our wills or our trusts? And the attorney might say, well, has this happened or that happened? And you say, no, no, no. Well, then it gives them opportunity to tell you about any changes in federal or state laws that might necessitate a change. So I would say every 3 to 5 years, check with the person that prepared your documents to see if things have changed.
That's very good. I think that's a very good rule of thumb for people to look out. Go back and look at when did they get it done. I think we also are not big fans of those self-generated types of documents or bought online for $50 because you could be potentially making millions of dollars worth of mistakes.
Well, that's one of the ways that being cheap can cost you in the long run. That's another perfect example.
There you go.
Of your question that you just answered. And when I worked for the 2 bank trust departments in previous lives, we saw all of the messes. And I would say, maybe 20, 25% were sort of do-it-yourselfers that had unintended consequences and end up at the bank trust department because it was such a mess.
Yeah. We see this a lot, so we advocate for not doing that, for not skimping on estate planning documents.
Has anybody entered any questions for us in the chat area, Anna?
Doesn't look like I have any questions coming in, but on the left-hand side at the bottom, if you're watching this live, there's a link. I think in yellow letters, you can click that link and enter question, and we'll pick it up while we're still online. Don't see anything right now. So I'll go for another question, Jim.
We have one for you. What's the most overlooked employee benefit that I might be eligible for?
Do you know, Jim? And you know more of this than I do, but together over the long period of practicing financial planning, as we review clients' employee benefits booklets or summaries of what their employers provide, what I've noticed is disability is one of the top, along with life insurance. So let me just clarify what I mean by that. Disability insurance, and most people will say, "Oh yeah, I've got that. That's provided by my employer, so that's just automatically assumed that I'm covered." But you kind of have to look under the hood of that disability policy, or even just for us, as we get clients' employee benefit summaries, we just open it up, and in a few minutes we can determine whether there's enough policy, there's enough coverage there, whether there is a coverage first, there's enough coverage, what kind of coverage, because disability, there's two types. You have short-term disability and you have long-term. We're mostly concerned with the long-term disability because that could have a huge impact on your overall financial plan. So I am always looking to make sure that there's coverage. Is there enough coverage? And if there's not enough coverage, so what can we do to get more? So the first thing to do is open up your employee benefit booklets, and it doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're just starting out on the new job or you're getting ready to retire or you still have time to go before retirement, you've got to make sure you have this coverage. Now, I found some scary statistics just looking online to see, what's the disability numbers are. So what I found this morning was that just 1 in 4 20-year-olds today has a chance of becoming disabled before they retire. That number just makes me it's a lot. And so what are the most common causes of disability? Do you know, Jim?
Well, I'll guess, and I'll say injury and accidents.
Well, right. So usually, the cause could be actually illness. 90% of causes for disability is illness, and the rest is for accidents. But why do people file claims for disability? So what I found was it's either issues with their, for example, having a back pain, or problems with the nervous systems. So if we think about what I mentioned earlier, being cheap, of not having a proper, gym membership or exercising. So if you can skimp on that, so it's not only going to cause health problems, potentially that could lead to you not needing the disability coverage if there's ever an issue. So if you start thinking about this sort of as an aggregate, so that your financial life is not just about crunching numbers and how much do I need to save for retirement, that's all it is important. But these other pieces that are so connected, it just blows my mind when I look at it that way. So I hope that you take a look at what disability coverage you have. Most of the time, and you correct me, Jim, if I'm off with the number, but most insurance companies, whether it's a combination of the employer-provided disability policy or you have that in additional supplemental, this is mostly what we recommend to our clients, is a supplemental disability, long-term disability coverage. You can get up to 70% of your income. Does that sound about right? We haven't seen more than that.
It does, but my back's bothering me right now.
Are you ready to wrap up the show?
I don't know. Do you have one more question for me real quick?
I have, it's sort of a question, but also a comment. So someone told me, Jim, that we have dropped off First Friday questions, and we now have something called Any Friday questions. Do you know anything about that?
Well, in the past, Anna, under previous regimes, we had First Friday first-year clients. Clients would be able to get questions for free on any Friday, but you have made an announcement, at least to me, the rest of the staff, that it's changing. Can you explain how it's changing?
Sure, I can. So what we decided to do is from First Friday questions. So usually we would ask all of you to send us questions right around that time, or we would take time on the first Friday to answer those questions, and that's how we generate content for the show. It helps us. But we also noticed that sometimes our clients would send us questions or would be sort of waiting to send us questions, and then they all pop up towards the end of the month or so forth. So we decided, well, why not take the questions anytime? Okay, we want to provide more value to you. We want to be available to you. So the first Friday is now anytime questions, and so we'll still run our show the way we run it, and pull hopefully more questions from what you're going to be asking. But just know what we want with this change, and what our goal is in financial planning that we provide to you guys is we want to empower you make good and smart financial decisions. So if there's a question that prevents you from doing something, and you're going to wait for us to ask that question on the first Friday, that's silly. So we don't want to do that. that's how I rationalized and looked at it. Do you agree, Jim?
So there you go, viewers. It's the new generation. So now, questions anytime by email. We're here to help you make smart financial decisions. Anna, I'm proud of you.
Right, and we're plugged in on our phones, on our computers. So we are around. So it should be okay for us to answer your questions. So we'll see if we're gonna get bombarded with more questions next month because of this announcement. So
yes, please give us till the next business day, would you?
Yes.
We need our weekends back.
Wait, yes, I know, we do. But
okay, we're over time.
We're over time. Okay. But I was gonna say, don't you just love this, Jim? So it doesn't feel like you're working 24/7.
No, Anna, not at all.
There you go. I wanted you to say that on camera. Okay. All right. We'll see everyone next month. Looking forward to getting your questions. Jim, enjoy the new office. And
yes, I will.
I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. Take care.
Bye.